So the last time an expansion team was brought into the NHL wasn't really that long ago in the Seattle Kraken, and before the Seattle Kraken we saw the Vegas Golden Knights. However, when both of those franchises came into the NHL, only one new franchise joined the league at a time. However, we're going to be changing things today. We're going to be adding 5 new franchises to the NHL. Now, how are we going to do this? Well, I'm going to complete an expansion draft here. The CPU is going to simulate the entire expansion draft. They're going to draft our team, and this is what team number 1 is going to be looking like. So we're going to see guys like John Gibson, Matt Dumba, Vladimir Tarasenko, Adam Henrique, Brett Pesce, Michael Bunting, Gustafsson, Warren Foegele. Like, this is a pretty solid team right here. William Karlsson was also selected, John Marino. But this is what team number 1 is going to look like. So now that I know who was selected by the Delaware Dragons, I'm going to go add all those players to the team. So John Gibson, he was selected in the expansion draft. He's going to be joining the Delaware Dragons now. Hey, this is stick on the ice in the editing process. So my original plan was just to send these players that got drafted, such as John Gibson, over to the SHL. And because now they're not in the NHL, I'm assuming they're not going to be available to be selected in the expansion draft. That was not the case. What you actually have to do is send them to the NHL alumni teams. If they play for the NHL alumni teams, they will not be eligible to be selected in the expansion draft. If you send them to any of the leagues overseas, they will be eligible, and it becomes a massive mess. So we got ourselves expansion draft number 2, and it's actually looking not too bad here. Like, the biggest name I'm noticing right off the bat is John Karlsson is going to be selected from the Washington Capitals, so that's definitely going to be a big name for the Pirates. When it comes to goaltending, not the greatest in the world. Peter Mrazek, Korpisalo, that's 2 of the goaltenders. You're going to be walking away with Nashville's backup, so you're not going to have anything great when it comes to the goaltending department. But hold on, wait a minute, I just disrespected somebody. The best player on this list right here, a stick on the ice legend, one of the GOATs, Pontus Holmberg, is being selected. The Portland Pirates got their franchise star. Pontus Holmberg's here to change the game. Now, when it comes to the quality of these expansion drafts, truthfully, expansion draft number 1 will probably have the best team, because every time a player is selected in the expansion draft, they're removed from their NHL team, so that means quality players from every NHL team are going to be eliminated. So with all that being said, I'm going to go add all these players to the Portland Pirates, and then move all the players selected over to an alumni team. So we've completed 2 expansion drafts, and it's time to move into our third, and our third team is going to be the Virginia Vikings. Similar to the Portland Pirates, a bit of a legendary team, but they don't quite hold the same standard as the Portland Pirates. Like the Portland Pirates, they're one of one. Now, based on what we're seeing here in expansion draft number 3, you can clearly see the quality is falling. Like, no disrespect to these players right here, but this ain't it. Like, this just clearly is not it right here. Jake Waldman, you're probably going to be the best player selected. The defense is looking kind of cooked, though, I'm not going to lie. Rasmus Ristolainen, Ryan Graves. Ryan Graves picked up his first goal of the season the other day. We're not going to mention which team it was against. I think we all know which team it was against, and honestly, it doesn't surprise me. But yeah, this team right here, they're competing for the first overall pick, that's for sure. And considering each team after this one's going to be even worse, these expansion teams are really going to be in the trenches. So we're moving on to expansion draft number 4. This one's going to be done with the Wisconsin Wizards. Now, I can only assume, based on how it was for the Virginia Vikings, Wisconsin's going to have a terrible team here, and they definitely will. These names are not giving me a lot of faith, considering players such as Ryan Reeves are being selected, and Shea Weber. Shea Weber was just selected in the expansion draft. The expansion draft is so cooked because of how many teams we've added. Players like Shea Weber are being selected. Bro is a 70 overall. No potential whatsoever. He's done for the rest of his career. This team right here, this ain't it. I will say, you got Cole Perfetti. Cole Perfetti will actually be a decent player for you. When it comes to basically everyone else, though, it's not looking too good. Now, we got ourselves one more team to do an expansion draft for, and that's going to be the Rhode Island Rebels. Now, the one thing you have to know about the Rhode Island Rebels, this is going to be by far the worst team. Like, this expansion draft for them, it's going to be atrocious. I already know. This team is going to be in the utter trenches. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you see us pick up a couple players who aren't even playing anymore due to injury. That's how bad this team is going to be. And you know what? Maybe I spoke a little bit too soon, because this team doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look good, but it doesn't look terrible. They're getting Shane Gostisbehere from the Carolina Hurricanes. They're going to be picking up Evan Bouchard from the Edmonton Oilers. I don't even know how that happened. I don't understand how they didn't protect Evan Bouchard, but we're not going to worry about it. Torrey Krug from the St. Louis Blues. Yeah, he's hurt, but he's a decent enough defenseman. You're picking up Bobby McMahon, stick on the ice legend, also Toronto Maple Leafs legend. They got Carey Price on the team. What more could you really need? So we've completed completed the expansion draft with 5 different NHL teams, and in theory, the Rhode Island Rebels, the final team completing an expansion draft, should be the worst team. So that's the team we're going to be rebuilding. We're going to be rebuilding the Rhode Island Rebels, and we're going to be putting them along with 4 other new expansion teams into the NHL. After completing 5 expansion drafts, this is what our team's going to be looking like, and man, is this cooked right here. There is no way we don't finish bottom 5. Our team looks atrocious. The defense isn't terrible here. What are these lines? I'm sorry, why would we have Evan Bouchard on the second pairing? Why are these the preferred lines? No, we are not rocking these lines. These are just stupid lines. These are the defensive lines we're going to run. I don't care if we don't have great line fits here. This team is not going to be good. We're going for the first overall pick. We're embracing the rebuild. Yeah, this team is going to be blatantly tanking. But while we go ahead and basically lose as many games as possible up until the trade deadline where we're going to sell a bunch of players, if you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 78k by the end of the month. If you don't subscribe, we're not going to be able to do that. So if you're still watching the content, you might as well be subscribed. Now, I don't think it's too much of a surprise that things aren't really going great for the Rhode Island Rebels. We didn't expect this team to be great. But how are all the other expansion teams doing? Well, the Virginia Vikings are the best expansion team, 18th in the entire league with a 32-30-4 record. So they're the best expansion team and they're 18th in the entire league. That tells you a lot about how our expansion teams are doing. The Wisconsin Wizards, 24th in the entire league. The Portland Pirates, 25th in the entire league. The Delaware Dragons are going to be 27th in the entire league with a 29-30-6 record. And then right at the bottom of the league, the worst team in the NHL. I guess we're not the worst team. The Rhode Island Rebels, a 25-34-6 record. We're not the worst team. How is there 2 teams worse than us? How are the Ducks and Senators worse than the Rebels? That makes absolutely no sense. Like, this Rebels team is in the absolute trenches. Just look at the plus minuses. I don't care what the scoring numbers are. Look at the plus minuses here. This team is not cooking whatsoever. When it comes to goaltending, it is not cooking whatsoever either. These numbers are terrible across the board. So with that being understood, it's clear that we have to make some trades here. And look at Shane Gostisbehere's trade value. Yeah, we're bringing an elite player to the team. Alright, if we could somehow pull this deal off, it would be massive. Shane Gostisbehere and Kevin Hayes sent over to the Minnesota Wild for Matt Boldy under contract for the next 6 seasons. We should be able to win a Stanley Cup within the next 6 seasons, so I'm going to offer this package over. It's a little bit low. They just want a 7th rounder. A 7th rounder is really going to help us get this deal done. Matt Boldy, you're going to be a critical part to this team, and I'm happy to bring you here. Now, I don't think we're going to make a ton of trades here because in reality, we don't have that many valuable assets, but Callum Ritchie actually wouldn't really be that bad for us. He's a 78 overall, so he could play bottom 6 minutes right now, but I think he could be a key piece for us in the future. So yeah, Beluga and Hutton, both of you guys are going to be sent over. I'm a little bit surprised that's not enough. I mean, it's probably not going to take that much more. Like a 7th rounder might make the difference. Trade value wise, we're pretty close here. And yeah, all it's going to take is a 7th rounder. So now that we've done some trades here, we might as well hand out a couple of extensions. Evan Bouchard, I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think you're in the long-term plan for this team. So a 2-year extension at 9.4 really isn't that bad because we'll end up flipping you for a lot more. And then when it comes to Kaliev, I mean, we have all the money in the world, so here's 2.3 for the next 2. Why not? No, in reality, we really don't have anyone we have to re-sign. I mean, Tarasov, I guess we can re-sign you. I'll do 1.3 million, actually 1.4 for the next 2 seasons. You can be a backup goaltender, and then maybe we'll pick up another goaltender, but Soderblom, you'll actually probably be the starter next season. So yeah, here's 1.5. This team is going to suck for a number of years, but eventually we won't suck. Now, the Rebels basically lost every game for the rest of the season. Like, I think we might have won 4 games if we were lucky. The best expansion team is going to be Delaware, a 40-35-7 record. The second best expansion team, that's going to be whoever it is. They were really bad. The Portland Pirates. Okay, all the expansion teams were incredibly bad, but that's not too much of a surprise. The worst team in the entire league, the Rhode Island Rebels, a 28-48-6 record. This team is in the utter trenches right now. The only team in the league to not score 200 goals, and we were one of 2 teams to allow over 300. So our goal differential was 103. That's how down bad we are. But you know what? That's perfectly fine because we're going to rebuild this team. We're going to rebuild this team and win them a Stanley Cup. Matt Boldy, since you came to the team, 6 points in 17 games and you're minus 16. We don't need to look at anybody else's numbers. That sums up this entire season for us. We were so bad when we brought an 88 overall Matt Boldy. He recorded 6 points in 17 games. We are in the utter trenches. The Tampa Bay Lightning are Stanley Cup champions. But you know what? The first overall pick is a possibility for the Rhode Island Rebels. We better walk away with it, but we all know we're going to drop to the 3rd overall. Never mind. the Rhode Island Rebels getting the first overall pick, no, it's really a miracle. Now, it's a little unfortunate we're not going to be walking away with a franchise potential player here, but this isn't the end of the world. Giunta or Matt Schaefer, those are our two options. I mean, I think we're going to go with Giunta. Then again, he's a defensive defenseman. I think I'd rather have Matt Schaefer. I'm not going to lie, I feel like Matt Schaefer would just be a better pickup here. He'll have more offensive upside. That's what we're going to do. Matt Schaefer, welcome to the team. You're going to take a little bit longer to develop, but I think I'd rather have you. The guy going second overall, he was a 77 overall, so I think we actually made the right decision here. I was thinking he was going to be a much higher overall. I was thinking like an 81, 82. So considering he was only a 77, Matt Schaefer was definitely the right selection there. So we got the first overall pick and we got ourselves a great prospect. But you know what? We're getting ourselves another great prospect here. Glenboard, he's a gem, medium top 6 potential, so you already know he's going to be elite for us. 65 overall, that's a great start. Okay, I guess we can't miss in this draft. Medium top 4 potential defensemen. All the prospects we've been bringing in so far have actually been really good, and they all have good potential. Is that going to continue into round number 4? It doesn't look like it. We've reached that point where we're not going to be walking away with any superstar prospects. You know what? We had a good run there. Then again, if we can walk away with low potential, I wouldn't complain, but low top 6 definitely isn't that. Now, we really don't have anyone to re-sign other than Oliver Wahlstrom, and he's probably only going to be getting a 2-way contract. So yeah, I'll give him exactly what he's looking for. Everyone else, though, they're all going to be walking. I mean, to be fair, all these guys are just the AHL players, so yeah, all the AHL guys can walk. So we got through the re-sign phase, and now it's time to give out extensions. Jordan Spence, I believe in you. I think you're going to turn out to be a really good defenseman for us, so I'm okay with giving you $4.5 million for the next 6 seasons. You better develop pretty quick, though. Bobby McMahon, you're a decent enough bottom 6 player, so here's $2.3 for the next 3, and you're a stick on the ice legend, so you deserve it. Simon Milano, I think I'm going to let you walk. Justin Hall, you're definitely walking. Sam Lafferty, Blankenberg, I think the rest of these guys are all going to walk. And saying all of that, we got ourselves a lot of cap space, and we got to utilize that cap space. The only issue, we were so incredibly bad last season. Nobody wants to join our organization. So yeah, we're going to have to sign guys like Jamie Benn, then flip him at the trade deadline. Then again, that's not the end of the world. So Jamie Benn, welcome to the team, $3.3 million for 1 season. Alright, Eric Robinson. There have been times where I've signed you to a 1-year deal, and within 1 season, you're up to an 87 overall. So I'm not going to make that same mistake again. I'm going to offer you $3.5 million for 2 seasons. Hopefully that's going to be enough for you to accept, and it looks like it will be. Now, how about you develop into an 87 overall, and then I can flip you when your trade value is through the roof. Nick Hague, you'll be a good enough third-pairing defenseman for us, and $3 million for the next 2 isn't too bad. So that's what I'm going to offer you, and it looks like you're going to be accepting. The big thing we have to worry about here, a goaltender. Like, we need a goaltender. Lucas Dostal, are you a UFA? There's no way you are. Why is Lucas Dostal UFA right now? Do I sign him? I feel like that's the clear move here. Lucas Dostal will give you $5.2 million for 2 years. We'll see how you progress, and if you don't progress, you won't stick with this team. But yeah, that's a great move for us. And then Joel Hofer to be the backup. I mean, Joel Hofer's not going to be a UFA. He'll definitely be an RFA. I guess not. So Joel Hofer, welcome to the team, $1.7 million. Yeah, that works for me. Wyatt Johnston, you're a great player. I have no clue why you don't have medium league potential, but we're not going to worry about it. Here's 2 third-round picks. I don't think this is going to be enough. We'll probably have to do a second. We have to throw 1 second-rounder in. So here's a second-rounder for 2027. Is that going to be enough? It looks like it will be. Now, can I flip Wyatt Johnston? It's not that I don't want Wyatt Johnston here, but I kind of want to switch it up. I feel like I bring Wyatt Johnston to the team in a lot of videos, and I feel like a guy like Kent Johnston kind of just switches it up a little bit. So Wyatt Johnston and Jacobs are both going to be sent over to the Blue Jackets. They're going to be saying no. I'll throw a second-round pick in the deal, and we'll get it done. Like, if y'all don't accept this, you're absolutely wildin'. Nah, you're going crazy. Ain't no way you're not giving me Kent Johnson for this package. Now, if we can't walk away with Kent Johnson, how about we just walk away with Chinikov here? He'll still be a really good player. He'll probably end up playing on the top 6, 84 overall. I need him to score some goals for us. He's a sniper. Snipe the puck. Alright, we got to find a couple more forwards to bring to the team here. Ideally, we're finding players under 30 years old. I don't want to go over that. Mason Appleton, you're a stick on the ice legend. Of course, I'm going to bring you to the team. I would never decline Mason Appleton join the team. So Mason Appleton, of course, is going to be joining. Like, that was an absolute no-brainer. Who's going to be joining alongside Mason Appleton? I haven't really decided yet. I guess it's really going to be whoever's name jumps out at me here. Taylor Radish. To play bottom 6 minutes, I can do that. $1.9 million for the next 2. Taylor Radish, welcome to the team. Alright, now the team is certainly better than last season. Wyatt Johnston, Matt Boldy, Chinikov on the first line. When it comes to all the other lines, we're just not going to talk about it. We got to rebuild a little bit through the draft here. The defense isn't even looking that great. Torrey Krug, 85 overall. Your modified no trade clause is kicked in, so more than likely you'll be moved next season. Maybe even at this trade deadline, who knows. All I know is Lucas Dostal, you're the new starting goaltender. You're an 84 overall, 25 years old. You just have to hold it down for a little bit here. Whether you become the solidified number 1 in the future, we haven't decided on that yet. I just need you to play good for 2 seasons because I only have you under contract for 2 seasons. Then again, you really don't have to play that good because we are going for the first overall pick once again, So yeah, if you play incredibly bad this season, I wouldn't be mad at you. Now I got some great news for the Rebels. Last season, you guys finished with what, 28 wins? Well, you already have 28 wins so far. Portland Pirates are currently in the postseason. They're a wildcard team, a 34-30-3 record. They're not going to hold on to that. I know for a fact that team's eventually going to collapse. The Rhode Island Rebels, 26th in the entire league, a 28-30-8 record. Comparing this to last season, we're definitely making strides in the right direction here. We got trust in the process here. Wyatt Johnston, 60 points so far. That's not too bad. Matt Boldy, 55. Chinakov's got 49. We better give him an extension. Doesn't he need an extension right now? Yes, he does. Probably should have given that at the beginning of the season, but you know what? We're not going to worry about that. Evan Bouchard, you might potentially be traded away here. You have high elite potential now. You are being traded away. Your trade value is probably through the roof now. It's probably ridiculous. We're going to capitalize on that. Evan Bouchard, thank you for the amazing season and a half here, but now it's time to trade you away. This actually isn't as high as I thought it would be. I was thinking it was going to be significantly higher than this, but you know what? We can work with that still. Okay, I don't think this is going to be possible, but Bouchard and Bobby McMahon for Lane Hudson and Cole Caulfield. Would you be interested in that, Montreal? Absolutely not. Now, do we give up our first round pick for next season? How much faith do I have in this team completely turning it around? Let's get risky out here. We are getting risky. It's time to turn this team around, and we're going to do it quick. Bouchard, Bobby McMahon, and a first round pick for next season. We're bringing in Cole Caulfield. We're bringing in Lane Hudson. This team's making the playoffs next season. We're done playing around. Like the first line now, Cole Caulfield, Matt Boldy, Wyatt Johnston. The second line is going to be Chinakhov and Robinson. We got to fill out the second line still. We got to work on the bottom six as well. But you know what? At the very worst, that pick we trade away is probably going to be like the 15th overall. I am perfectly fine with giving up the 15th overall pick in that deal. We're going to have to give Lane Hudson a little bit of support here. But Lane Hudson, Torrey Krug, and Spence is our top three right now. That's not the end of the world. But Krug's about to be traded. Alright, so I think this is the next deal we're going to pull off. Torrey Krug and Jamie Benn sent over to the Islanders. Saplakov and Holmstrom are both going to be acquired. Holmstrom, we're probably going to flip you to a third team. I haven't really decided quite yet. We're going to have to improve our defense a little bit, but we might not have to worry about improving the defense for this season because clearly we're not going to be winning a Stanley Cup. However, we could improve it over the offseason. This package that we just offered wasn't enough. I'll throw a 5th rounder in and this should be enough. The Islanders are really going to be saying no to that. How about instead of a 5th round pick, I give you a 4th rounder? I don't want to trade our other 2nd round pick, but if I have to, I will. Do I really want to trade our 2nd round pick in this deal? I feel like I'm just giving up way too much for what we're getting. But you know what? Let's make some risky deals. This video is all about risk. We're making risky trade after risky trade, and eventually they're all going to work out for us. Or at least half of them will. Now, if we could pick up Bo Byron for the defense, that would be a game changer. Holmstrom and Kelly have both sent over to the Buffalo Sabres. I doubt this is going to be enough. This is really close in value. I'm actually really surprised that they're willing to consider this. The fact that Holmstrom, Kaliev, and a 7th round pick is going to be enough for Bo Byram. Nah, the Buffalo Sabres franchise continues to make stupid moves. But then again, that's kind of what they're known for. Now, I'll definitely say this season was a success for the Rebels. We were significantly better than we were last season. Did any of the expansion draft teams make the postseason? It doesn't look like it. But the Rebels, 24th in the entire league, a 37-36-9 record. That's really not too bad. Because you do have to remember, there's a lot more teams in the NHL now. There's 37 teams in the NHL, so based on the way we played after the trade deadline, we're definitely making the playoffs next season. This team's making great strides in the right direction. Wyatt Johnston, 69 points, Cole Caulfield, 67, but the real question is, what did Cole Caulfield do since joining the team? Those numbers don't seem right. Those are definitely not right for Cole Caulfield. 13 points in 16 games. That's really not too bad. Matt Boldy, 65, Saplakov, 63, but what did he do since joining the team? 11 points in 16 games. On the second line, I can definitely live with that. When it comes to goaltending, Lucas Dostal was the guy for us. 31 wins, 2 shots, a 911 and a 294. Considering what the defense looked like in front of you, these are actually pretty good numbers, and I can live with that. The Rebels are making strides in the right direction. We're going to be making the playoffs next season, and then within 3 seasons, I can guarantee we're going to be bringing home a Stanley Cup. Florida Panthers, Stanley Cup champions. That's going to be the Rebels sooner than later. So all we can really do here is just pray for an absolute miracle. Are we going to be moving up a ton here in the draft? Doesn't look like it. We're walking away with the 14th overall. I can work with the 14th overall pick though. Now we are going to pray for an absolute miracle. Semi-accurate scouting might have medium league potential. If we could secure a medium league potential player with the 14th overall, that would be huge. Medium top 6. Truthfully, that's what I was expecting here, but you know what? I'll still take it. Would have preferred medium league potential though. Now low-key, this has been a great draft for us. We're getting a low league potential player in the 5th round. He's a 60 overall, but earlier in the draft, we got a medium top 6 potential player, so all the guys we're bringing to the team right now have a bit of value. I mean, the low league potential player doesn't have a bit of value, but he is a 60 overall, so he could develop. Probably not, but I mean, you can always hope for the best. Alright, so Chinakov's looking for a contract extension here. I don't know how much he's going to be looking for. $6.3 million. It's a little bit much. I'm going to give it to you, but don't be surprised if you get traded here. Like, you're not going to be holding a top line role, so 5.8 seems a little bit too much. Then again, as a second line guy, it's not the end of the world. I guess it's really going to depend on what your fit is. Like, if you have a decent fit on the second line, I guess we can keep you around. We'll find that out pretty quick. Everyone else is going to be walking here because there's really no point in bringing them back. Alright, so Robinson, I was really hoping you're going to develop to an 87 overall. Clearly that didn't happen, so we're just going to trade you away. Amadio, you're going to be traded away. Appleton will probably be traded away. Low key, almost everyone here might be traded away. Even Richie, you have not developed for me whatsoever. So Callum Richie, you could be moving. Also, Lucas Dostal, where you look for when it comes to an extension, 6.5 million. Not a massive fan of that. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of trades happening. Alright, I feel like we have to get a little bit risky here, and I feel like these are the risky moves. Kempe and Alex Tuch. We tried to bring both of them to the team. We would have to free up a little bit of cap space, but I think if we can bring both of these guys to the team, it would be a game changer. Alex Tuch, I'm willing to give you 8.9 million for the next 6 seasons, so I'll overpay a little bit here. If we can bring Alex Tuch in, that would be huge. Adrian Kempe, I also really want to bring you to the team, so I'll give you basically the exact same, except I'll do $9 million with you, so $9 million for the next 5. Hopefully that's going to be enough to get both these guys on our team. Alright, so earlier in the video, I tried to trade for Kent Johnson. I haven't given up on that. Kent Johnson, you will join this team. Chinikov, a prospect and a 3rd round pick sent over to Columbus. They're saying no. Give me Kent Johnson. I don't care what it takes. At this point, I'm contemplating trading a 1st round pick. That's how much I want this man. I feel like he would be incredibly valuable to the second line. We finally got the deal done. Kent Johnson, welcome to the team. And Kent Johnson, of course, we're going to keep you around. This is going to be a great deal for us. We're going to be looking at 6.3 million for the next 4 years. That's a contract I can work with. Now we got to pull off one more deal here. We got to bring Martin Ferravari to the team. So Plakoff and Nick Hague are both going to be sent over. Hopefully that's going to be enough. They're saying no. What else do you want? Because I don't want to trade more draft picks. I mean, I'm willing to trade a couple more, but I don't want to give up too many more. So we're going to start with the 6th and 7th rounder, and I think that could be enough. They want a little bit more. So we'll do 2 6th and a 7th. So that's going to bring in Martin Ferravari, but even that's a little bit low. Okay, maybe we flip Nick Hague somewhere else. Like, how about I flip Nick Hague over to the Winnipeg Jets? We get a 2nd and 3rd round pick. They're saying no, but we'll just swap a couple picks here. Like, I'll give you a 6th rounder as well, and that should be enough. There we go. Now we'll head over to Washington. So hopefully this can be enough for Martin Ferravari, because I'd like to walk away with him here. They're saying no. We're really going to have to trade all of our picks away, but you know what? It's worth it if we can win a Stanley Cup. So I'll throw in a 6th and 7th rounder. Martin Ferravari, welcome to the team. So with all the moves we made, our defense and top 6 should be set. Alright, so we're not getting Alex Tuch. We're going to be keeping Kent Johnson. Are we going to miss on Adrian Kempe? Yes, we are. Okay. We went for 2 big free agents and we missed on both of them. What do we do now? I mean, hear me out. Artemi Panarin on a 1-year deal, and then we go for big free agents next season. There we go. So Artemi Panarin, you will join this team. I will give you 12.5 million just to make sure you join this team. So there we go. 12.5 for Artemi Panarin. He should join the team. Now, ideally, we bring in a sniper here, but it doesn't really look like there's any snipers available, especially on a 1-year contract. So maybe Jordan Eberle's our best option here. Not really what I want, but you know what? We're basically going to have to take what we can get. The big issue with Jordan Eberle is I only want to give him a 1-year deal, so we're going to have to massively overpay this man. Like, we have to give him 7.5 million. But you know what? That's what we have to do. Jordan Eberle, welcome to the team. I need you for 1 season. Next season, we'll go for free agents again, then hopefully we'll actually be able to land on one of our big splashes. So Jordan Eberle is going to be joining the team. Artemi Panarin, you better not say no. Artemi Panarin, he's also going to be joining the team. We're looking not too bad now. Now, one thing that we have to remember here, we don't own our 1st round pick. So this team right here, they can't suck. We cannot be one of the worst teams in the entire league. We have to be able to compete. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit concerned on line chemistry right now. Like, we don't have great line fits. However, we're going to improve that. I know for a fact this team's going to step up. Lucas Dostal, I'm going to believe in you here, but you better accept a reasonable contract extension because we do have to keep you around. Alright, so things aren't going as quite as good for the Rebels as I thought they would be. I was kind of hoping we'd be a playoff team right now, maybe even top 10, but nope. Not really happening. Portland Pirates 15th in the entire league. That's what you get when you steal players away from us in free agency. But the Rebels 22nd in the entire league, a 33-31-3 record. We might be doing a little bit of selling here. Our goal differential is 0 exactly, so we're not outscoring our problems right now. Artemi Panarin 74 points. Did I give you a no movement? I'm assuming I did. Yes, I did. I'm going to ask you if you're willing to waive it though. If you're willing to waive that no movement, we could make a move here. Wyatt Johnson 63 points, Cole Caulfield 61. We just missed out on a bunch of big time free agents. And that's what's hurting us the most here. When it comes to goaltending, Lucas Dostal, you're not looking that great. We're going to make some moves over the offseason, and we'll be significantly better next season. We missed on both of our big free agents, and that's really what hurt us the most here. Like, if we brought Kempe and Alex Tuch to the team, none of this would be a problem right now. we would be winning. But Artemi Panarin, would you be willing to waive your clause? Let's find out. I have the clause because I see a future here. I'm not waiving it. My guy, I'm going to be completely honest. You are walking into free agency. We are not bringing you back. Okay, I'm going to be honest here. Since we can't move Artemi Panarin, I don't really know who I want to trade away. Like Matt Schaefer, I'm not trading you. Jordan Spence, I'm not going to trade you. And this is an incredible contract now. I'm going to be completely honest. I think we just need a new coach who's going to have better line fits. I think that's what we really have to do here. If we can bring in a new coach that has better line fits, I think we solve almost all of our problems. So with that being said, I don't think we make any trades here. I think we just have to ride it out for this season. If we somehow sneak into the playoffs, great. If we don't, not the end of the world. The pick that we ended up trading away is going to end up being like the 16th or 17th overall. So I'm perfectly fine with trading the 16th or 17th overall pick for Cole Caulfield and Lane Hudson. So we're not going to do anything here. We're not going to get too aggressive and try to make a bunch of moves in order to make the playoffs. We're just going to chill here. If we make the playoffs, great. If we miss, not the end of the world. The only reason we're not in the playoffs is because we missed out on free agency. If we brought Kempe and Tuck to the team, this is a completely different story. But we missed out on both of them, so we brought in Artemi Panarin, who is an upgrade from one of those players. However, the other guy we brought in was an old Jordan Eberle, and that wasn't the move. So we all know the Rebels aren't a great team, and they're not going to be doing too much. We saw what they looked like at the trade deadline, and now they're 15th in the entire league, a 44, 33, and 5 record. We're in the postseason. They decided not to lose after the trade deadline, and I'm all for that. Artemi Panarin, maybe asking you to waive your trade clause is what sparked this, because yeah, the team actually looked really good, and once we make some moves in free agency, this team's definitely going to be competing. Lucas Dahl still 37 wins, 7 shots, a 911 and a 291. I really hope I can keep you around, because if I can keep you around and improve the rest of this team, no, we're going to be winning a Stanley Cup. We're taking on the Florida Panthers in the first round. It looks like we're going to be the first expansion team even making the playoffs here, so that's a great sign for us, unless Portland made it last season, which they might have. I actually don't recall. But yeah, the Rhode Island Rebels are in the postseason, and they're looking to win. So Lucas Dostal, it's good to see you smartened up a little bit, and we're going to be able to keep you around here. I'm thinking 5.5 with a modified no trade. If we could somehow keep you around with that, that would be ideal here, but maybe we do no movement or something. Or we could just do something like this, 5.5 with a reduced no movement. You're going to get 80% team protection those final 2 seasons. That works for me. Lucas Dostal, you're returning to the team for $300K more than what you're getting paid right now. And the way you've been playing, you can definitely win us a Stanley Cup. Now, can you win us a Stanley Cup this season? Probably not. I can almost guarantee you we don't win a Stanley Cup here. Florida won 60 games. There's no way we're taking down Florida in the first round. I wouldn't be overly surprised if we got swept here, and I'm thinking we're going to get swept. 8-0 in the final game. Not gonna lie, that's a tough loss. The other 3 games, at least they were close. And then that game happened. But we made the postseason, so it's a start. Nah, but real talk, 8-0 in an elimination game, it's not a good look. So the Minnesota Wild are going to go on to win the Stanley Cup, taking down the Toronto Maple Leafs in 6 games. As long as we don't completely miss in free agency, we're going to be able to win next season. I shouldn't say we're going to be able to win. We're going to be a lot more competitive. I also want to point out Lucas Dostal's numbers right after I gave him his extension. He posted an 895 and a 448. This was moments after he signed his deal. Now, I think Bro planned that. Now, because we traded a majority of our picks away, we don't really have any here. We only had these 2 selections. Neither of them were great players. One of them had medium top 4 potential, I believe, but the other one not nearly as much potential. All right, so here's all the pieces that are going to be walking. Panarin's leaving the team. Amadio's leaving the team. Robinson's leaving the team. A lot of pieces are going to be lost here. We do have $30 million in cap space, though, so maybe Panarin could return, barring the price. Matt Schaefer's probably going to be jumped into the lineup. He's a 79 overall. We even have this other player who's a 78 overall. Barring what their growth looks like over the offseason, they might be jumping into the lineup. So we got a couple good young guys. But Panarin, realistically, what are you looking for here? You want 9.6 for the next 2 seasons. I don't want to do a 2-year deal with you. We could probably do 1 season at $10 million, though. It doesn't look like he's interested in $10 million. Panarin, I think you're probably going to be walking. Amadio, you're going to be walking as well. Like, I'm just not going to give you what you're looking for. Robinson's going to be walking. We'll replace the bottom 6, but we need to make a big splash when it comes to the top 6. Also, Joel Hofer, here's $800K for 2 years. You can be the backup. So now Artemi Panarin's interested in a 1-year contract. Now Bro's willing to accept a 1-year deal. Why'd you have to make this significantly harder? I'll give you $11 million for 1 season. Panarin's going to be accepting immediately. That's huge for us. So we're shipping out Mayfield because I need to free up a little bit of cap space here. I do not want John Klingberg. Why would I ever want that? If you have a young prospect, I guess you can take that prospect on. Basically, I just want to free up that money. All right, so we got filled the bottom 6. Lawson Krause, I think he can be one decent player for us. So here's 2.8 for the next 2 years. He's going to be accepting immediately. That's player number 1. The next player I saw who could be pretty valuable for us, Morgan Geekie. So Morgan Geekie, I'll give you 2.9 for the next 2. Actually, I'll make that 2.8 2.8 for the next 2 seasons, so you're going to join the bottom 6 as well. On top of Morgan Geeky, Mason Appleton, I actually didn't realize that you were looking for this good of a contract, so I'll bring you back to the team, 2.4 for the next 3. We need some more players for the bottom 6. Ryan Hartman, you can be that guy for us, so here's 2.8 for the next 3. Justin Brazeau, you're a stick on the ice legend. You always show up in these videos, so it was only a matter of time before I brought you to the team, 2.1 for the next 2. Alright, we're going to get risky here. A first rounder, a prospect, a 4th and 5th over to the Vancouver Canucks for Lekkerimäki. Now the main reason this is a risky trade, Lekkerimäki is incredibly hit or miss whenever I trade for him. Although he's an 87 overall right now, I would not be surprised within 2 seasons if he drops to like an 82 or something. For some reason, whenever I bring this guy to my team, he always declines incredibly quick. Not today though. So we gotta sign a couple more guys in free agency. Drew O'Connor's gonna be the next. It's $800K for the next 2 years. That's an absolute steal for an 82 overall. So we gotta sign one more guy for the bottom 6, and Xavier Bourgault, you're gonna be that guy, 1.7 for the next 2 years. There we go. The team should be set now. We're going to go ahead and change coaches, and then we're going to be able to win a Stanley Cup. All right, now before we get too far ahead of ourselves here with all the deals, Bo Byram, I do need to give you an extension. You want 7.8 for 1 year. I don't do 1-year deals, so we're going to hold off on that one for a little bit. All right, so we brought in Lekkerimäki. Panarin, you're going to be sticking around for 1 more season. The bottom 6 is looking better here. Truthfully, across the board, this team's just in a better spot. Line chemistry is better here. The forward core is better here. When it comes to goaltending, Lucas Dostal is going to have another great season. I think we're going to be pushing for top 10 in the entire league. So we bring in a new coach, and look what happens. The Rhode Island Rebels, 3rd in the entire league, a 37-19-8 record, one of the best seasons we've had. This actually is the best season we've had. Artemi Panarin, 75 points. He's absolutely locked in. The plus minuses on this team do have me a little bit concerned. Cole Caulfield, Wyatt Johnston, Matt Boldy, Lane Hudson. I'm okay with all the numbers that you've put up this season, except for the plus minus numbers. The plus minus numbers are the one thing I'm concerned about right now, so maybe we make a move here. Lucas Dostal, 35 wins, 2 shots, a 911 and 276. We could make a move here, but we also might not have to make one. Because at the end of the day, are we really going to be winning this season? Like, do I believe that we can win right now? I don't think so. So instead of making the stupid move and risking everything right now, we might hold off 1 year and then we're going all in next season. If we can win this season, that's great. But yeah, I don't want to rush the process here. The Rhode Island Rebels aren't ready to win quite yet, but if we can win one on the way to next season, I wouldn't be against it. Before we get to the end of the season though, we do have to make sure that Bo Byram's coming back to the team, so let's give him an extension. We're looking at $7.6 million for the next 3 years. So Bo Byram's going to return to the team, Sealer's going to walk. Artemi Panarin, I guess we could bring you back barring the right price here, but $11 million for 1 season, I'm not really feeling that. So I can't guarantee you're going to be returning to the team. So the Rhode Island Rebels are looking elite right now, 2nd in the entire league. The only team better than us, the Florida Panthers. We've actually done a pretty solid rebuild here. I was not thinking the Rebels would be this good this quick, but here we are. Artemi Panarin, 96 points. Cole Caulfield, 88 points. Wyatt Johnston, 85. Matt Boldy, 68. Lane Hudson, 66. From top to bottom, we got a lot of big time players. Even Lucas Dostal, 47 wins, 3 shots, a 911 and 279. But is he going to put up numbers like this in the postseason? We're going to find out pretty quick. Last season, we got swept to the Florida Panthers, but this time we're going to do the sweeping. So we got the Rebels taking on the Carolina Hurricanes in round number 1. A big game 1 win, an even bigger game 2 win. The Rebels are rolling right now, but we're dropping back-to-back games after that. Certainly not ideal, but as long as we steal game number 5, we'll be in a great spot. And we are not stealing game number 5. Great work, team. You're telling me after picking up 6 goals in game 1 and then 7 goals in game 2, combining for 13 goals, you have now scored 3 goals since. How does that even work? You picked up 13 goals in the first 2 games, and the next 3, you scored 3. The Rebels better wake up here. We are not waking up. We actually might have a chance, but we need a big third period here, and we're not getting a big third period. We're actually going to allow 2 more goals, so we're dropping this one 6-3. So in our final 4 games, we scored 6 goals. In the first 2, we scored 13. Artemi Panarin, I'm going to put all the blame on you, and the only reason for that is I'm not bringing you back next season. Or at least I hope I'm not bringing you back, because if I put all the blame on you and then proceed to bring you back, that would be kind of wild. I got nothing against Artemi Panarin, but I kind of want to point the blame to somebody who I don't plan on bringing back. So the Winnipeg Jets are going to be Stanley Cup champions, taking down the Washington Capitals in 7 games. That's going to be the Rebels next season. We saw a lot of success here. We're going to build on that success. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about is so far in the 2 times we made the postseason, nobody's really showing up for us. Nobody's really taken the reins and said, you know what, I'm going to lead this team to greatness. We've kind of folded in back-to-back years now. So that better not happen next season. Also, I just want to point out all the other expansion teams that are still in the absolute trenches. Wisconsin's getting the 6th overall pick. Virginia's going to be getting the 11th overall pick. Delaware's getting the 14th overall pick. And Portland's getting the 16th overall pick. We all entered the NHL at the same time. I started with the worst team, and we just finished 2nd in the entire league. Completely ignore the fact that we lost in the first round. We were 2nd in the entire league and we made the playoffs. so that's better than what they're doing. So with our first round selection, we're going to be walking away with Bobrovsky. Unfortunately, it's not Sergei Bobrovsky, it's Nikolai Bobrovsky, 66 overall, low league potential. Shout out to Bobrovsky. He's on the team now. So if one lowly potential player wasn't enough, we're going to be walking away with another here. Another lowly potential player, but this one's going to be a playmaker. Now, when it comes to the re-sign phase, unfortunately, no one's going to be coming back to the team, but we still have $17 million in cap space, so we can make some big moves in free agency. Okay, we have $17 million in cap space. We can bring in 2-star free agents, because when it comes to extensions, we have nobody to give extensions to. Like Morgan Geekie, you're not going to cost us too much. $2.3 million, I can do that. I'll do $2.2 million for Morgan Geekie. He's coming back to the team. Brazeau, we're probably going to do the exact same for you. You actually want 2.4 on a 1-year deal. We got all the money in the world, so why not? Here's 2.3 for 1 season. Brazeau's coming back. Lawson Krause, how much are you going to be looking for? 2.2 million. Here you go. You can have that. Bourgoul, how much are you looking for? $2 million. Everyone's coming back to the team here. So if we can't win this season, don't worry, we'll just run it back with the exact same team. $17 million to work with. Maybe we actually will bring Artemi Panarin back to the team. We'll be able to afford him. I just didn't want to do a multi-year deal with him. But here's the question. Give Panarin $12 million, or do I give Voronkov money and then we give somebody else money? Voronkov, we're going to bring you to the team. You want $6.2 million, I'm willing to do 6.5. You're going to play bottom 6 minutes for us, but you're going to be a great bottom 6 player. That leaves us with $11 million. I guess I can offer a deal to Panarin. Like, I'll give you all the money that we have here, and if Panarin says yes, we're going to be cooking. Okay, he immediately said yes. All right, let's go win a Stanley Cup. So we have to make one trade. Poirier, we're going to bring you in to play some third pairing minutes. Ryan Hartman and 2 second rounders are going to be sent over to Colorado. Apparently they want a little bit more. Sure, I don't really care. Here's a 3rd round pick as well. Once you accept this deal, that's going to allow us to win a Stanley Cup. So you just gifted the Rebels a Stanley Cup. Hope you feel proud of yourselves. So 5 years ago, we were an expansion team, and we were the worst team in the NHL. Here we are 5 years later, the best team in the NHL. We've done an incredible job rebuilding this team. From top to bottom, we look absolutely elite here. 0 weaknesses whatsoever. Lucas Dostal, give me 16 great wins in the postseason, and we'll be Stanley Cup champions. You better not fold. It all comes down to you. Also, I just realized we brought Artemi Panarin back to the team after I blamed last season's postseason loss on him. So yeah, it only took about 2 seconds for that take to age incredibly poorly. Also, we're not stopping at the trade deadline, considering I've already spent every single cent of our cap. We're going right to the end of the season. Now, I see the vision right now. 2nd in the entire league, a 55-21-6 record. Our offense is one of the best in the entire league. Our defense is also one of the best in the entire league. It's not the best, but it's one of the best. The Rebels are here to play. Panarin's got 97 points so far. The plus minuses are looking slightly better on this team. They're not looking great, but they're looking slightly better than last season. We have a couple guys stepping up. We have 2-point-a-game players. Caulfield and Boldy are only 1 point shy of a point a game, so you might as well say we got 4-point-a-game players here. When it comes to goaltending, Lucas Dostal, I need you to prove yourself this season. 43 wins, 3 shots, a .902 and a .294. You've been mid so far in the postseason. You haven't been a star, and we need a star right now. We need somebody to step up when it matters most. We're taking on Columbus in the 1st round. This team can't afford to lose in the 1st round again. We can't even afford to lose in the 2nd round or the conference finals or the Stanley Cup final. We got to win now, and we got to prove ourselves. All right, now I'm happy to see the team's actually not choking right now. We have a 3-1 series lead. We should be able to close this out in 5 games. We're not going to lose to the Columbus Blue Jackets. A nice show to finish us off. Lucas Dostal's locked in right now. So we made quick work of the Columbus Blue Jackets. It was a pretty boring series. There was a couple other expansion teams that made the postseason. Portland made the playoffs, but they're going to fall in 4 games. They're going to be swept to the Vancouver Canucks. And then Delaware put up a pretty decent fight against the Florida Panthers, but Florida's going to take them down. So the Rhode Island Rebels are the only expansion draft team remaining, and they got Carolina up next. Now, Carolina still has a lot of their core pieces, so we definitely can't sleep on them. But 7 goals in game number 1, and it might be a sweep here. All right. That was easy work. Now, the Lucas Dostal Masterclass is going crazy right now. We've advanced to the conference finals. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs up next. If Lucas Dostal continues to play like this, nobody stands a chance. All right, so if the Lucas Dostal Masterclass continues, there's no way we're going to be losing. And the Lucas Dostal Masterclass is continuing. Bro has been absolutely elite, and we're not going to blow this series. We've got Vegas in the Stanley Cup final. No, we've actually been so elite so far, it's ridiculous. So here we go. All we need is 4 more wins. 4 more wins and we're Stanley Cup champions. Lucas Dostal, you got to be perfect. And so far in the Stanley Cup final, you're starting to falter a bit. Give me 2 more games. All I need is 2 more games from Lucas Dostal. He's going to give me 1 here. Can he give me 1 more right here and allow us to be Stanley Cup champions? Yes, he can. The Rhode Island Rebels have finally done it within 5 seasons. We went from being the worst team in the entire NHL, an expansion draft where we got scraps, to Stanley Cup champions. champs. No, like we really did 4 expansion drafts before ours, and even after all of that, we still found a way to come out on top. 16-4 in the postseason. No, the Rebels were just different. Matt Boldy, 28 points. Cole Caulfield, we need you in those big moments, and you showed up. 14 goals, 9 assists, 23 points. Shout out to Lecker-Mackey. I had my doubts about Lecker-Mackey, but 87 overall, a ton of X factors. He lived up to the hype. Panarin, you held it down the first line. Wyatt Johnston, you're that guy. Shout out to Mason Appleton. If you made it to the end of this video, comment Mason Appleton. 87 overall. You already know he's a stick on the ice legend. Bro stepped up in the big time moments like usual. But Lucas Dostal. Comment Lucas Dostal if you want to. 16 wins, 3 shouts, a 935 and a 194. Let's just compare those numbers to the other 2 postseasons he played. A 912 and a 297. Clearly that's not going to be good enough. And an 895 and a 448. That's clearly not going to be good enough either. So what did he do in order for us to win a Stanley Cup? A 935 and a 194. Nah, bro really did that as an 85 overall. Lucas Dostal, you showed him those big time moments, and you showed up more than we needed you to, because you put on a Hall of Fame type performance.